Yeah, yesterday we learned about the Shcheresh Shoite V'Koton. Somebody, the deaf, mute, and somebody that Shoite, incompetent mentally, and Koton below Bar Mitzvah. They have a lot of restrictions. We cannot mitzvah them dominion. They cannot be witnesses, and so on and so forth. You cannot mitzvah the Zimun. So it brought a lot of comments and questions. So today I'm going to only cover one of them. Each one of them we have to cover. Today we're going to cover the Shoite. There's a lot of questions. What definition of a shoite? So here's the Gemara in Chagiga Dav Gimel Amud Beis. Tana Rabbanon. Ezu shoite. How would define a shoite? Ezu shoite. Who's incompetent? The Gemara says, "Hayoytze yichidi b'layla." One of the symptoms, he goes out alone at night. Now, going out alone at night would mean the olden days there was no electricity, and going in some places could be very dangerous. And he goes freely out without any fear. He goes out at night alone. There's the second symptom. Va'alon b'beis hakvaros. Somebody sleeps in cemeteries, and Rashi says balayla. Again, it's abnormal to those days. Or like today, going to a dangerous place at night, or sleeping in a cemetery. It shows that something is wrong with the person mentally. The third symptom, va'makareya es ksusay. Somebody constantly tears his garments, or similarly would be is breaking dishes. Okay, so this is one opinion that there's three symptoms. Itma Ravuna Omar, Ravuna says, Achiyu kulon b'vas achas. According to Ravuna, you need to have all three symptoms. If there's one of the three, it's not a shoite. Meaning you have to be somebody sleeps. So according to this, by the way, without going further, today you have no shoitim. Who sleeps in the cemetery? The biggest shoitim don't sleep in the cemetery. So according to Ravuna, you have no shoitim. But according to Ravuna, the choir, I need all three. Again, he should be sleeping in cemetery. He's somebody breaking dishes and tearing his garments, and he's going alone at night. Today would be in the two dangerous places. Now, Rav Yochanan Omar, afilu b'achas mehen. Rav Yochanan disagrees with Ravuna. He said if with one symptom is a shoite. One of the three is a shoite. Now, there is another opinion in the Gemara. I'm skipping a little bit all the Masa of Matan. Somebody wants to elaborate on it, is welcome. He could go on the Gemara. Rav Papa says, like this. Ezu shoite, he brings a braisa, zama abed kol mashanoistim loy. You bring a nuda shoite. Shoite is somebody, he's losing whatever you're giving him. You're giving him money, he's losing it. You're giving him something valuable, he's losing it. He has no control over valuable finances. He has no control over it. So that's a shoite. So those are the three opinions we have over here. So Lamaisa, Lahalocha Lamaisa, what we do with this information? So it's interesting that the Rambam, what he writes over here, the Rambam on this halacha, Gabe Hilchas Edus, if they could become witnesses or not. The Rambam like this. That Hilchas Edus perek tes. Hashoite apostle edus min haTorah. Somebody is a shoite incompetent. He is not a kosher aid. Lefish eno ben mitzvahs. He's not mechuyev ben any mitzvahs. If you might think shoite might be something, a big shoite that somebody could go naked on the street, or constantly breaking, like I said, kelim could mean the dishes, or kelim could mean clothing. Somebody is going on the street, is throwing rocks. Doesn't have to be such a big shoite, he said. Somebody, he doesn't not thinking straight. When him says he's not. He doesn't have a normal way of thinking. But sometimes he could speak normally. He says, I read the apostle. He brings a little bit, a few examples. Okay. Then in Halacha Shiur brings, I'm skipping a little bit, then he says somebody is not a shoite. He's more calmer. He doesn't break. He doesn't throw rocks. He doesn't go naked. By the way, so far Rambam Kimat didn't mention anything of the Gemara. So far, it's like where he take it from. We're going to discuss it. The Halacha Shiur Rambam somebody they very very fools, meaning he's not a shoite. He's not harming anything. He's not doing crazy thing, but he's like a fool. He doesn't understand that there's two things contradict each other. So he's so not smart. He doesn't see two things that's obvious that contradict each other. He doesn't have a minimal comprehension of what people comprehend. Or he brings another example, the opposite of that. Some people are too they are too emotional. They go too crazy. Oh, so Lamaisa, in a way, the Gemara brought us precise examples. Rambam gives general words. Then he concluded that. But Mashira Hadayan Shi Efshel Lechaven Adas Bichsal. So it's very difficult to write exactly, precisely what the shoite says. So the Dayan, anytime you have such a shayla that comes in front of you, whether it's for edus, whether it's for mitzaref l'minyan, mitzaref l'zimun, you have to decide what's called somebody that's out of the chart. He doesn't fit any chart. He's completely shoite. Okay, so again, so the shayla would be where the Rambam takes it from. The Chorah does not opinion of Rabbi Yochanan. It's not Rav Huna. So the Bes Yosef and Choshen Mishpat, he says like this. First of all, before I go there, I'm going to bring the opinion of the Tur. The Tur is more, looks like he quotes the Gemara. The Tur is like this. Shoite posel lo'id. I'm reading the Tur in Choshen Mishpat, Simen Lamadei. Shoite posel lo'id. Evazu shoite sheyotze nechidi balayli. Mamash quotes the Gemara. Somebody goes out at night alone, again, to dangerous places. Or those days was no light, it was dangerous to go anywhere, came out. Va'alon beves hakvora. Somebody sleeps in cemeteries. Va'koreya ksuso yoma'abed mashonestim lo'id. He tears his garments. All would be breaking dishes, let's say. Uma'abed, and he combined with the three opinions of Rav Huna, also the Rav Papa, and he also loses what you give him. Also the Rashtus Nikra Shoite. He says if he did one of them, doesn't have to be all of them. That's the opinion of Rav Yochanan. Doesn't have to be all of them. It's already called Shoite. So the Bes Yosef brings of it that all the Rishonim, the Rambam, the Rosh, and everybody, they paskin like this because we know that the halacha is when Rav Huna and Rav argue, halacha like Rav and Rav Yochanan, and they argue halacha like Rav Yochanan, and Rav Huna was a Talmud of Rav. How much more culture can be halacha like Rav Yochanan? That's why he says that the Tur says even with one of them like Rav Yochanan, he called a shoite. We still don't have a good answer for the Rambam. Why the Rambam brought none of this, and he left it like it's up to the discretion of the Dayan. Okay, so this. Two more places, I mean, it's more, but at least two more places, the Bes Yosef and Even Ezer Kuf Yutes and Kuf Chaf Aleph, he's trying to explain the Rambam. So he says like this. The Bes Yosef says that the way Rambam learned Pshat in the Gemara, that those three is lav dafka those three. It's just an example. Those three. It's example. It could be anything, again, that's a person not thinking normal, is wired differently, he doesn't have common sense, and he does those crazy things. That's why Rambam Badafka didn't bring that. You might get stuck to this. This is it, you might think. And by the way, the Tur does not choylek on the Rambam because at the same halacha, he quotes the Rambam. So meaning, the Tur, the end, quotes the Rambam. And that's how we pass Shulchan Aruch, like the Rambam. It doesn't have to be Dafka, those three things. Anything that's abnormal, severely abnormal, not you do it once in a while. A person steady behaves very, very in an abnormal way, that's called a shoite. Now, that's in Kuf Chof Aleph, he explained this. Now, in Kuf Yutes, the Rambam brings another opinion. It says, V'sholom Shimshon bar Avrom v'Rabenu Simcha mishpiro kosam. The lomach zekinan b'ches kashet l'garesh at shiur b'simon ashtus amforeshim perek kama dechagiga. Rabenu Simcha paskens, one of the Rishonim, that it's a nafkamina also, a shoite cannot write a get to his wife. Cannot write a get. If somebody married to a shoite, both ways, the wife shoite, the husband shoite, they're stuck. So there is if sometimes they feel better, sometimes that moment you could do it, but with the Shas Shtusa you can't anyway. So the Rabbeinu Simcha Paskin, he said, so the only time we machzik somebody to a shoite, only the symptoms that brought in the Gemara, only then they brought in the Gemara, and that bring a question. Rabbeinu Simcha l'choira halacha Rabbi Yochanan, and Rabbi Yochanan said even one of them, according to Rabbeinu Simcha, all the three you have to have. All the three. So why doesn't it follow the rule? Rav Yochanan, Rabbi Yochanan. How much more Kal V'chomer? Rav Huna Talmid of Rav Rabbi Yochanan. Why needs all the three symptoms? Then he brings over there. That's the Bes Yosef brings the Yerushalmi. It's interesting. Maybe that Yerushalmi going to give an answer why Rabbeinu Simcha, and also going to give a little bit of an idea of why the Rambam didn't follow those examples. The Yerushalmi, it says in Maseches Truma, it says like this: Vashoite, Simon Shoite, Hayotze Balal. That's what the Gemara in the Babli mentioned. Then incorporate also the opinion of Rav Papa. Three symptoms. Omar Rav Huna, Vushia Kulam boy. All four have to be. Yeah. It brings, if it's not all four, you might give an excuse for every behavior. Maybe it's not shtus. I'm not going to go through them now. Why not? Okay, the Gemara goes through them. Now, Rabbi Yochanan Omar Afilu ba'achas man. Now, this so far looks like the Babli, everything. But that's what changes the whole thing. Omar Rav Bun. Mistabra Madom Rabbi Yochanan. Afilu ba'achas man. But Rabbi Yochanan said even with one of them, it's enough. One symptom out of the four, he says, only the fourth symptom of Rav Papa, when he loses valuables or money. You give him money, he loses it. You give him something expensive diamond, he loses it. He said, why? The reason for it? The biggest shoite is not, even the biggest shoite, he knows what money is. He's going to hold the money tight to him. This is to him. To everybody, even little children, no, I need to possess this money. That's mine. They're not going to give away. If this guy, he loses all the money, that's what Rabbi Yochanan says, even one of them is enough. But if it's other symptoms, you need all the symptoms together, the other ones. So that's what Rabbeinu Simcha Paskin like this opinion, because according to the Yerushalmi, Rabbi Yochanan was not choilek on Ravuna. He's masking him only by this symptom if somebody losing the money. Okay, now halacha lemaisa is like this. I know it's some people don't want to, like, especially with places there's suffering with a minyan, and you have some time you want to matzaref anybody, you're desperate for a minyan. But lemaisa, if somebody, like the Rambam says, if you see that there's a real shoite, meaning is somebody either has one of the symptoms similar to them, and he's not doing it once. He's doing it. That's how he lives with such a. He wired differently, so you cannot matzaref him to the minyan of 10. You cannot make him a siruf to the zimun, and you cannot be kosher aid. He cannot give a get. Well, if he was always like this, his marriage was never a marriage, because he cannot make kiddushin either. We're talking about if somebody, God forbid, was normal and then became shoite, it's a big problem how to resolve this marriage. So if there is a moment in time that he could be normal, they could find. But I'm not going now, right? The Ilchas Git and this are going to be done by the big dayonim. They're going to figure out a way or not. But L'maisa, on a daily basis, if we have a problem that we have only one, the tent, Mitzaref tent, as a shoite, if somebody is like follows, he fits all these things we just mentioned. You cannot. There's no real. I didn't say any heter of any poskim bringing a heter. If it's a real shoite, then you cannot matzar from the min. In the cheresh and cotton we'll talk about in the next shiurim.